Of Riverfront Broadcasting Sports.
Peterson takes off for a second. Now the throw is going to come to the plate. It is going to be wide, and the Governors will steal one away. The throw was wide for the pitcher in Brooks, and the Governors steal the win.
It's time for Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Governor Baseball is brought to you by Comtech, True Green Camelon, Edward Jones Financial, Overhead Doors, Todd's Electric, Shane's Pharmacy, Jaeger, AGE, First Fidelity, and the State Farm Becky Potsuba Agency.
That one is launched to left field. Charlie Simpson, a 3-run shot. It's a 4-1 lead. His first of the year.
And by Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota. Oahe Federal Credit Union, Missouri River Dentistry, Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping, Agtegra, Farding Electric, Envirotech, and Kruger Climate Systems.
1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and there is your ball game. George Stallion will get the strikeout to finish off the game.
Governor Baseball also brought to you by Stalkin Peterson LLP, Wagner Auto, the South Dakota Office of Attorney General, Division of Consumer Protection, Gales Gas, First United Methodist Church, Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction, Beck Motor Company, and May Adam.
As Sun and Shine will launch this out to left field. That was going back to the wall, and it got out, and it was a fair ball. It's a home run for Sun and Shine. A 3-run shots for Sun and Shine, his first varsity home run.
And by American Family Insurance, Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, Lamb Motors, Bank West, CHS River Plains, Faith Lutheran Church, Grand Tire, Kathy Sunshine Properties, Venture Communications, and the American of Fort Pierre.
The 1-2 from Lineback. That one taken for strike 3, and that's the ball game. 9 strikeouts for Rich Lineback. He goes the distance, allowing just 1 run, a 2-1 win for the Pierre Governors in game number 1.
And now, Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR.
Our national anthem played here this afternoon as we welcome you here to Pierre Governor Baseball as we are set for a doubleheader between the Govs and the Sturgis Scoopers. John Winkler with you here as we get set for our game 1 of our doubleheader. Blake Dean will join us here this later in the evening after he gets off of his full-time job and comes to the broadcast booth. We'll have him joining us here after a while, but it's going to be a good one here between the Govs and the Sturgis Scoopers as we get set for the final. It is the final week of the regular season. The Pierre Governors number 2 in the state right now. 6 games this week. 4 of those 6 games are going to be against teams that are below 500. 1 under the 250 win percentage. Sturgis right now at 5-8 in South Dakota games, 6-13 overall. Govs got to make sure they get wins. Lincoln Patriots obviously above 500. They want to, those are big wins as well. But they got to make sure that they beat the teams that are below them in the standings, below the 500 mark, and below the outside the playoffs looking in. Both these teams, Sturgis and Washington comes to town on Friday for Lincoln finishes the season on Saturday. Those are important doubleheaders, and for these two teams especially, they're going to be pretty desperate. They got to win baseball games just to get into the playoffs. The Governors, they're going to be in the playoffs. Even if they go 0-6 this week, they're still going to be in. But they want to make sure that they're sitting at number 1 or number 2. And the higher you are at the end of the season, the better off you are. The Govs right now would be taking on the Aberdeen Smitty's team. That's that'd be a tough draw to have in the first round, the 2-15 matchup, but it is still something that where the Governors, they don't want to drop any more and say we want a more favorable matchup against this team that's number 12 or number 11. You want to be that 2-15, and you want to be one of those top 3 teams in the state, and they could do so as we get set for first pitch between the Governors and the Sturgis Scoopers. First pitch will be missing for ball 1 as we are underway here this afternoon. 4:49 start time, so we are 11 minutes ahead of schedule to get us rolling for the doubleheader. 1-0 pitch from Brendan McCullough, who is on the mound. That'll miss outside. The count's 2-0 here to Bridger Batten, who is the leadoff man, the DH for the pitcher, Brandon Matthews, who will be on the mound for the Sturgis Scoopers. Here's the 2-0 from McCullough. That'll also miss outside. A quick 3-0 count here from McCullough to the leadoff man. Jaron Jetski, the third baseman, bats second. Jace Thurman, the left fielder, batting third. Carter Williams in the cleanup spot. He is the center fielder. 3-0 pitch. That's right down the middle for a strike, and the count goes to now 3-1 to the leadoff man. This Sturgis team has played 5 games over the last 3 days. This will be game 6 and 7 over 4 days. 3-1 pitch is over for strike 2. The bat was tossed by the batter and Bridger Batten, but it now becomes a 3-2 count. So payoff pitch in the first batter of the ball game. 3-2 from McCullough. This will be popped foul, and it'll be right falling below us, and it remains a 3-2 count. In those 5 games, Bridger Batten hasn't hit a whole lot. He's just 1 for 4 with a single, 2 runs driven in, though. They've been up and down, 2 big games and 2 big scoring. This is a ground ball, 1 hopper over to J.J. Buckles, who will step on the bag and retire the leadoff man to kick off the ball game. And it brings up now the third baseman, Jaron Jetski. And it will be Sturgis that is, again, they lost 3-2 to T. And then they got 3 wins in a row, 2 against Douglas and 1 against Rapid City Central, as the first pitch will miss low for ball 1. After a 3-2 loss on Friday, they came back and ended up winning 13-3 over Douglas. They had a 20-5 win over Douglas, as this one grounded foul down the third base line. The count goes to 1-1. A 9-4 win over Rapid City Central. Then they lost yesterday 10-4 to the Spearfish Spartans. So 2 10-run wins. That'll miss low, and the count's 2-1 here to Jetski. And then a 1-run loss and a 6-run loss. That last one coming to Spearfish. And their pitching, they've had to really work their pitching around so they have enough guys to continue to pitch on Tuesday after playing Friday, 2 games Friday, 2 games Saturday, a game on Sunday and a game on Monday. The count's now 2-2 here to Jaron Jetski. 2-2 pitch. And miss low and away, and the count is full now at 3 balls and 2 strikes to the number 2 man. Jetski so far in those 5 games, 4 of 17. 2 runs driven in. This will be grounded up the middle. Shuffle by behind the bag at second. Bobbles for a moment. Scoop over at first by J.J. Buckles, and it retires the second man. Good job by J.J. Buckles to stay with that play. And it's 2 down on a 4-3 ground down. And here's Jace Thurman, the left fielder. Obviously, again, the scores are inflated. They're 3 wins. They're 3-2 in their last 5. And their 3 wins, they've scored a total of 42 runs. That one's over for strike 1. Their 2 losses, they've scored a combined 6 runs. Here's the 0-1. Thurman off the handle. This will be a slow roller to shuffle by at second. He will pick it up, fire to first, and retire the side. 3 up, 3 down to the top of the first inning for Brendan McCullough. We head to the bottom of the first as the Govs will come to the plate. No score between Pierre and Sturgis. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Back in a minute.
Want technology solutions you can trust from a neighbor you know? Comtech, locally owned and serving Pierre and surrounding area since 2009, is dedicated to keeping your home, farm, and business connected and secure. We offer a full range of services from video, security, surveillance, and networking with expert installation and support. Visit our storefront, call us at 605-224-4066, or visit our website, comtechplus.com, to experience the Comtech difference. Comtech, your local technology experts.
Hey, yo, Speedo's Lawn Care.
Hello. Say, my yard's in rough shape. It's got weeds, brown spots, and crabgrass.
Yeah, no problemo. What shade of green you need? We got 31 shades of green over here. Even the latest shade of septic tank grass green. That one just naturally gives off a glow.
Call the professionals at True Green. They know how to get your lawn healthy and keep it healthy. They guarantee it. All technicians are trained and certified.
Call True Green, 224-1916.
We welcome you back, bottom of the first. No score, the American Family Insurance Brittany Shuffleby scoreboard. As we go through the Governor's lineup, it will look like this. Carter Shuffleby is back in that leadoff spot as he is the second baseman. George Stalley batting second and playing center field. Dawson Getz, the shortstop, batting third. Ridge Lineback, the left fielder, batting fourth. Cooper Twilliger, the DH, batting fifth. Trevor Rounds, the right fielder, will bat sixth. Charlie Simpson, the catcher, batting seventh. J.J. Buckles, the first baseman, batting eighth. And Parker O'Brien rounds out the order as he is the third baseman, batting ninth for the Governors. Brendan McCullough is being hit for by Cooper Twilliger. They go against Brand Matthews, who has last through on the Friday 13-3 win over Douglas. He threw 4 innings, giving up 2 runs, unearned, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. That 13-3 win was a 5-inning no-hitter for Sturgis. Matthews and Thurman combined for those 5 innings with 7 strikeouts. And this is his first day that he is eligible to pitch after throwing 72 pitches. They have 4 guys that are ineligible to pitch. Jaron Jeske, along with Brody Royer, Tate Johnson, and Kel Sundstrom. Those are the 4 guys that are unavailable to pitch for the Sturgis Scoopers. 3 of those 4 pitched yesterday and have at least 1 day of rest. First pitch to Shufflebine's right down the middle for strike 1. Carter Shufflebine comes in. He is hitting so far in the season 271. 13 hits, which is tied for tops of the team with Dawson Getz and Ridge Lineback. 0-1 will be above the zone, and the count's now 1-1. 3 doubles for Shufflebine, 2 runs driven in, 9 runs scored. He has been the primary leadoff man for the Governors. That one comes inside, almost gets Shufflebine. The count's 2-1. Had a Little League home run last Friday after it went off the right fielder's glove all the way out of the fence, and he came around to score on a 4-base error. 2-1 pitch is outside. The count's 3-1 here to Shufflebine. He was part of the track group and the sprint medley relay team that broke a school record on Saturday, winning that sprint medley relay race at the Howard Wood Dakota Relays in Sioux Falls, and posted the 3rd fastest time ever in the state of South Dakota with that sprint medley relay race. Here's a ground ball to the right side. That'll be off the glove of the second baseman and Carter Williams, and Shufflebine will reach safely to kick off the ball game. We'll see if that is scored a hit or an error. I believe it'll probably end up being an error on the second baseman Williams, but it will be.
Now batting center fielder, number 4, George Stalley.
And now here's George Stalley, the center fielder. Stalley had a chance to lead off in both games over the weekend on Saturday. Shufflebine takes off the first pitch. Pitch is high. The throw to second will also be high, but backing up is a shortstop and Royer. And a stolen base on the first pitch there for Shufflebine. And they're wasting no time putting themselves in a scoring position off the leadoff air. So the count's 1-0 here to George Stalley. Stalley so far, he's hitting 150, 3 of 20 so far. Does have a run driven in. Be nice to have that second RBI of the season right here. The 1-0 from Matthews. This was popped foul. It's going to go right over the top of the press box. That was perfectly placed by Stalley if it had been lower. But instead, it's fouled back, and the count is 1-1. barely moved that time, thinking that ball was going to come my way. Here's the 1-1 now from Brand Matthews to George Staley. This is popped foul. That'll get out of play, and the count's now 1-2. A game on Saturday, the two games on Saturday. The Govs didn't get a whole lot of hits. They had just 4 hits in 2 games. They were out-hit 7-4 in 2 games in total, but they did go 1-1. They got a 1-0 win and then a 6-0 loss. 1-2. That'll bounce in. Shufflebein takes off for third. The throw will be not in time after it bounced away from the catcher in Sundstrom. And it's an even count at 2-2, and a runner now at third. Stolen base after the error. Stolen base by Shufflebein to second. Pass ball, wild pitch. Moves him over to third. And now Staley with a 2-2 count can drive him in with even a productive out. There's a line shot into center field. That's a base hit, and that'll score the run. The Govs take a 1-0 lead, just 2 batters in here to the bottom of the first. And it brings up the number 3 man in Dawson Getz, second RBI of the season now for Staley. Dawson Getz, we mentioned him just a moment ago. He is tied with Leinbach and Shufflebein with the most hits on the team. He is hitting .255, 2 doubles, a triple, but he does have the most runs driven in with 10 ribbies. Staley takes off in the first pitch. That's over for a strike. The throw to second will be high and wide. And a stolen base for George Staley makes it another runner on at second here with nobody out. Oh, 1 the count here to Dawson Getz. A pitch from Matthews. There's a swing and a miss. Getz saw it right at the eyes, maybe a little bit above the eyes, and thought it was a pretty good pitch to hit, and then probably thought better of it a little bit too late. So the count quickly is 0-2 from Matthews to Getz. Staley will lead away from second. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That is upstairs, and the count's now 1-2. Governor's team batting average after the 10 points that went up from the Huron doubleheader dropped those 10 points again even after the Brookings and then Brandon Valley doubleheader. And I say Brookings because they had a really good second game hitting the baseball. Here's the 1-2 pitch. This one's chopped at the plate. It's going to be a tough play. Third baseman will field the throw to first. Will not be in time. Jetski came in. A little bit of hesitation when he picked it up, but Dawson Getz will get the infield single. And it's now first and third as Staley moves up 90 feet. First and third with nobody out, and it brings up Ridge Leinbach. You're listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront Broadcasting Station. As it is an opportunity, runners in the corners for Ridge Leinbach. 241 average. All of his hits have been singles so far. 7 runs driven in for Leinbach. He's hitting .350 with runners in scoring position. Here's the first pitch. Runner takes off. He'll foul it back. Dawson Getz will retreat back to first. His Governor team hitting at .222 with runners in scoring position right now. Well, Leinbach with those 7 runs driven in. He's hitting .350, which is best on the team. Cooper Twilliger hitting .333 with runners in scoring position. Here's the 0-1. Runner not taking off that time. That'll miss low and away, and the count is now even at a ball and a strike. Staley leads away from third. Dawson Getz over at first. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Runner takes off again. Pitch is taken for a strike. The throw to third will get into left field. Staley will come in to score. It'll be a throwing error on the catcher. It's a 1-2 count. But now just a runner on at second and a 2-0 lead for the Governors. It'll go as a stolen base for Getz, but another error, second of the inning by Sturgis. But Leinbach still hitting with a runner in score position. Runner on at second here at a 1-2 count. From the stretch, Matthews will deliver the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Linebach strikes out, and there's one down here in the bottom of the first inning. And it brings up Cooper Twilliger, the DH, who is getting himself more into form of the season. 308 batting average, which is a good start at 4 of 13 for the season. 1 run driven in so far. That was picked up in the Brookings doubleheader. And that high-scoring affair, one of the highest-scoring games that the Govs have had. That'll be at the top of the zone to the tall Twilliger. And the count's 0-1. Pierre, after winning 2-0 on Friday against Brookings, had 12 runs. They won 12-9. It was a complete opposite of Game 1 to Game 2. This will get behind the catcher all the way to the backstop. Dawson Getz will round third, and he will stay at third base as the catcher could not find it. And the count's now 1-1. And Getz maybe had a shot at scoring, but it's the first inning. You're up 2-0, and there's only 1 out. The way things have gone so far in the first 4 batters, you feel like you should be able to score, and that shouldn't be a missed opportunity to try and score. Could he have made it? Probably, maybe. The speed it gets, probably could have, but there's no point to risk it. As Twilliger will foul this one back, and the count's now 1-2. Because the last thing you want to do is not allow Cooper Twilliger, who is hitting 308, an opportunity to swing the bat and bring you in. Again, this is the final week of the regular season. There's going to be a lot of baseball to be played over the next 5-6 days to close out the year. By Monday, for sure on Monday, we'll know, maybe probably Sunday night as well. Here's a ground ball that is fouled down the first baseline. Count remains at 1-2. We're already running out of baseballs. But a 1-2 count to Cooper Twilliger. And again, the Govs, outside of going 0-6, 1-5, you know, that as long as they can even really go 3-3 at worst, there should be no question that they're going to be one of the top 8 teams. 3-3 will probably be the one question. Here will be a wild pitch. It'll get to the backstop. Dawson Getz will come in to score without having to slide. And it's now a 3-0 lead, and the count is at 2-2 strikes here to Twilliger. So no RBIs in the first 3 runs that have scored. Nobody on base anymore for the Governors. After the leadoff error, turned into a base hit for George Stalley. Actually, he did have, it was an RBI for Stalley. And then Twilliger is hit by the pitch. And there is a runner on at first here with 1 out. Make sure that Twilliger is okay, but it will bring up Trevor Rounds now to the plate.
Now batting the left fielder, number 32, Trevor.
Rounds so far, 175 batting average, 2 doubles, a triple, 6 runs driven in. We'll see if Twilliger gets the green light to try and steal right away for the Govs. Here's the first pitch from Matthews. That'll miss inside, and the count's 1-0. This Sturgis team also only has 12 guys that they brought with them for this doubleheader. And you already don't have 4 guys available to pitch. This will sound like it hit him. Sound like there's 2 hits there, but the count's now 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. This will be off the hands, a slow roller, fielded by the pitcher in Matthews. He'll throw to first, will be in time, and there's now 2 down on a 1-3 ground out. And it will be bring up Charlie Simpson, the catcher, who can drive in the game's 4th run.
Number 21, Charlie Simpson.
And again, they have 13 guys they brought, not 12 guys, 13 guys as the first pitch is a swing and a miss by Simpson. So only 4 available guys in the dugout, at least in game 1. And again, Royer, Tate Johnson, Kel Sundstrom, and Jetski are not available. Here's the 0-1 to Simpson. That's upstairs, and the count's now 1-1. And you look at those guys that both Royer and Sundstrom are in the lineup. Tate Johnson, well, actually, Jetski is too. Jaron Jetski, the third baseman. So 3 of those 4 guys are in this lineup. That one's inside. The count's 2-1. Tate Johnson not in the lineup or on the scorecard or on the lineup card. But it really limits you how many, if things fall apart here for Matthews, which hasn't started out well for him as the count's 3-1, really starts to limit you on what you can do early in a doubleheader. Assuming that, and they've used a lot of different guys. Bridge Batten has been used twice over the course of Friday through Sunday. Here's a flown out towards right center field. That's got a gapper for Charlie Simpson. Easily to score is to Williger. Simpson will round second. He's on his way to third. The throw will come in. There won't be a throw to third base. It is a 2-out RBI triple for Charlie Simpson, and he makes it a 4-0 game. And for the Govs, that is just their second triple of the season. Make that their 6th triple of the season. And for Simpson, that is triple number 3. So an RBI triple. Charlie Simpson stands over at third. J.J. Buckles. Time will be called. And the pitcher and catcher will meet on the mound. Charlie Simpson was starting to jog home, but is going to be courtesy ran for. Porter Hunsley will come in a courtesy run for him, and both the pitcher and the catcher kind of slumped their shoulders like, we called time. How can he go home? And he just head to the bench. But Hunsley now running for Simpson, and a chance for J.J. Buckles to drive another run. There's a full swing. I believe it was a full swing. It's going to score a run anyway as the ball got away. And so it is a 5-0 lead now for the Govs. Here in the bottom of the first inning. A strikeout and a ground out of Linebacker and Rouse. The only 2 guys that have been retired, and all other 5 guys have reached base. They've all come in to score. 8th man in the batting order for J.J. Buckles right now. A 1 pitch. There's a swing and a miss, and the count's now 0-2. Parker O'Brien is waiting on deck. Dylan Simmons, who was on the call during the Brandon Valley game, he had made the mention of the different numbers for Parker O'Brien. He was wearing 0 on Saturday. Well, he's at 18 in this game. There's a swing and a miss, and Buckles will strike out. And that will retire the side here in the bottom of the first inning. But 5 runs score in the inning on 3 hits. There were 2 errors and no one left on base. We head to the top of the second. Handful lead for the Governors after 1. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
When you're looking for quality trash pickup services, look no further than Envirotech. 6 days a week, their trucks are on the road picking up trash, even holidays. They're also the place to contact for recycling services. Their friendly, professional staff is ready to assist with weekly pickups or even special pickups. Check out the website at EnvirotechWaste.com. Envirotech is locally operated. Call 224-4804. Envirotech Waste Services in Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
When life throws you a curveball, May Adam Law Firm in Pierre is here to help you knock it out of the park. For over 130 years, we've been providing trusted legal expertise in business, family law, criminal defense, and more. Proud sponsors of this season's baseball action, we're committed to serving our community both on and off the field. Need legal advice? Step up to the plate with May Adam Law Firm. Visit mayadam.net or call today. May Adam, South Dakota's law firm since 1881.
It is the top of the second, and there is a 5-0 lead in the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard for the Sturgis for the Pierre Governors over the Sturgis Scoopers. Carter Williams, George Hamer, and Brody Royer will be the first three guys to face McCullough. Here's the first pitch. There's a ground ball to the left side. Dawson Getz will field. The throw to first, one pitch and one out to open up the top of the second inning. And so it brings up George Hamer, the first baseman. Hamer is hitting .313 so far in those 5 games, or .313 over the last weekend. 3 runs driven in. He does have one of those 4 extra base hits, does Hamer. Number 5 man in the batting order. He'll foul the first pitch back for strike 1. Around the horn defensively for the Pierre Governors, Ridge Leinbach is in left, George Staley in center, Trevor Rounds is in right. Parker O'Brien at third, Dawson Getz at short, Carter Shufflebine at second, J.J. Buckles at first, Charlie Simpson behind the plates, and Brennan McCullough, who delivers the 0-1 pitch, will fly that one out to right field. Trevor, as it will be misplayed by the right fielder and Trevor Rounds, all the way out towards the warning track. The runner will stop at second, and it will be a 1-out error. They'll put the first base runner on for the Sturgis Scoopers here at the top of the second, and brings up Brody Royer, the shortstop.
Now back to shortstop, number 28, Brody Royer.
Royer 2 of 9 over the weekend and extended into Monday. 3 runs driven in for Royer and the Scoopers. And we'll have time call, and Charlie Simpson will make his way out and make sure they're on the same page when it comes to signs, which one they're going to go with. In the Sturgis Scoopers at .321 over the course of 5 games. But you take into the account of what Douglas, Rapid City Central, those 3 games, there's a lot of base hits and a lot of runs scored where there weren't in the 2 losses. First pitch will miss low and inside for ball 1 to Royer. So McCullough trying to work through a 1-out error. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Good pitch there by McCullough. And evens the count at a ball and a strike. Wind is blowing out towards right center field. That might have been a big play in the fly ball from Rounds. That one just missing inside. The count's now 2-1. Might have been slicing a little bit, and as it was continuing to slice, maybe straighten out where Rounds had to turn himself back around. This will be flown out Rounds' way again. He's going to go back on it, still going back. He'll make the catch. The runner will tag from second. He'll make it to third without a play, and there is now a runner on at third with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. And it will bring up the number 8 man, make the number 7 man in Kel Sundstrom. We're going to have a pinch hitter already, or the umpire was looking at making something into his book. Can't see the number if that actually would be Sundstrom or they've already made a change somewhere. It is actually a different man. That this will be popped up into shallow right center field. George Staley will call for it. He will make the catch. And Brennan McCullough is able to work around the 1-out error. No runs, no hits, an error, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the second. 5-0 lead for Pierre over Sturgis. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Back in a minute.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up, all online. New or used, shop for it all online, anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back. The sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good, solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebind Agency, LLC, 224-6627. It is the bottom of the second. The Pierre Governors have a 5-0 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebind scoreboard. 9-1-2. Parker O'Brien, Carter Shufflebind, and George Stalley be the first 3 hitters. And this is a game, not so much just this game, but this doubleheader is something where, you got a couple guys that are unavailable, and it's really only mostly Ridge Leinbach and Will Danberg that are unavailable to pitch today. But you can set yourself up for the weekend if you end up leaving Brennan McCullough in for a short amount of time. You kind of go with more of a bullpen type doubleheader. You're kind of expecting the Governors, the way that they have pitched throughout this season, that you can have a bullpen type game, everybody throws well, and you end up with 2 wins. And then everybody is available for you Friday and Saturday, because then you can have all hands on deck for the weekend. The biggest thing will be, now at the very least, would be keeping Brennan McCullough under 80 pitches, so then he would be available on Saturday to allow you to have that extra pitcher, whether you use him or not. And that's the biggest thing for, the rest of this regular season this weekend, is if you can keep your pitchers available and have all hands on deck for the Friday, Saturday games against Washington and Lincoln, you can put yourself in a really good spot, as the first pitch will be behind O'Brien for ball 1. Because then next weekend, it doesn't matter. Everybody's going to be available when it comes to pitching. It doesn't matter if they throw 80 to 105 pitches on Friday or Saturday this weekend. They're going to be available by the time that next Friday or Saturday rolls around again. And the same would be for that Friday and Saturday of the state tournament. Obviously, you have to try and win 3 games in the state tournament, where you're trying to just win 2 of 3 the first weekend to get to that quarterfinal matchup. This will be fouled out of play on the right side, and the count's 1-2. So it's all part of the game, and I would say within now the last 10 years, that pitch count has really turned into having a more strategy involved for the coaches and managers of the teams. As there's a ground ball off the handle from Parker O'Brien, fielded by the third baseman Jetski. The throw to first was a little low, but picked out anyway by the first baseman Hammer, and there's one down here in the bottom of the second, and it brings up Carter Shufflebind. Because even you go back 12 to 13 years ago, there was no pitch count, and it was kind of an innings type of deal where you couldn't throw so many innings in so many days. Here's the first pitch that'll miss outside for ball 1. And so, you could throw 150, 160 pitches in 7 innings, and you played 3 days later. Well, you could go again if you needed to. That one will miss low and inside. The count's now 2-0. That was part of the strategy when I was a senior in high school. It was just about every possibility of being available I was going to throw, and that was much different than what it is now. Counts 3-0 here to Shufflebind. But I think it is a smart thing to have a pitch count so you're not overworking your arm and not getting hurt. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's over for a strike. Counts 3-1. Good hitters count here for Shufflebind. Not sure how, because Little League, that they really implemented that quite a while ago. That one's over for a strike. The count's now 3-2. But all the way back in the day, used to be that you throw 3 innings, and then you could 6 innings per week or whatever it might have been. And sometimes you could throw 30 pitches in 3 innings and have to be done, or you could throw 90 pitches in 3 innings. That wanted to be fouled back. Now it gives a chance for those young kids, if you're being very efficient, you can pitch a long ways into the game and not have to be taken out because you threw your 3 innings and that was it. 3-2 pitch. That one is a sharp ground ball. That is going to be scooped up off the ground by the first baseman and Hamer. He might have caught that in the air, but either way, he's able to step on the bag and retire Shufflebine. And that was near triple for Carter Shufflebine. As this will bring out George Stallion. Now there is action in the right field bullpen, so the coaching staff for Pierre might be thinking the same thing of a bullpen type of game, just trying to get guys a little bit of work, but let them throw but still be available on Friday. Good to hear from Ryan Kruger, former coach of the Pierre Governors as well. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's upstairs and the count's now 1-1. He's talking me up. Trying to say that I'm tougher than they are now, but I wouldn't think they're some pretty tough kids here for Pierre right now. 1-1. Here's a ground ball. There's George Stallion that's going to go 2 for 2 here in the ball game. He's got 2 of the 4 hits, 2 singles, and it brings up Dawson Getz as there won't be a clean inning for Matthews. And now it's Dawson Getz, who was 1 for 1. He's singled back in the bottom of the first inning, obviously here in the bottom of the second. A 5 spot in the first for Pierre. See if they can add to it with 2 outs and get a rally going here in the bottom of the second inning. Getz, who is hitting .255 coming in, already 1 for 1 of the day. Stally will take off in the first pitch. Be upstairs for ball 1. The throw to second is not going to be in time. Stally will steal that easily. Second stolen base for Stally. And he is in scoring position, so base hit can make this a 6-0 game quickly here with 2 outs. Where it looked like Brand Matthews was going to have himself a clean inning. Keep it a 5-0 game. Still could. But things have changed for the better of the Governors. Base hit makes it a 6-0 game with the speed of Stally over at second. He's looking to maybe steal third. This will be behind the Getz, and Stally doesn't have to worry about stealing third. He's just going to jog his way over there on the wild pitch. And the count's now 2-0. Activity out in the left field bullpen for the Sturgis Scoopers. So Stally now a wild pitcher, a pass ball away from scoring. Here's the 2-0. Sharp ground ball. That one is stabbed over at third base by Jetski, and he will fire to first. And some unfortunate luck for Dawson Getz, who hit that one square right to the third baseman. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. We head to the top of the third, 5-0 lead for Pierre over Sturgis. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line of power.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Brennan McCullough will work into the top of the third inning as we welcome you back here to Hyde Stadium. Governors lead at 5-0 on the American Family Insurance Brandy Shufflebine scoreboard. Carson Williams, the second baseman, will lead things off. 8-9-1 for the Scoopers. First pitch, that one is backhanded somehow by Getz. The throw to first is in time. Take a star on that play for Dawson Getz. And hopefully he goes back and watches it on YouTube at KCCR Sports so he can see himself make that play. and because there was no way he was watching himself making that play. His head was out in left field looking over at Ridge Lineback when he was making the grab, so he can go back to KCCR Sports and rewatch that play so he sees exactly how it happened as the first pitch is swung on and missed by Jack Jolly, the right fielder, the number 9 man in the batting order, but a great play nonetheless by Dawson Getz. That's the defense that the Govs like to see and want to have and have been having through this entire season. Just 23 errors defensively to this point in 17 games. I would say that's not a horrible stat. You know, if you have a 3-error game, you've had some airless games. You know, one 3-error game was on Saturday in the 6-0 loss, which, you know, that you're not going to win scoring 0 runs. Here's the 1-2 pitch. This will be grounded back to the mound. McCullough will step and throw, and there is 2 down. And it's back to the top of the order. And it's Bridger Batten. Batten grounded out to the first baseman, J.J. Buckles, to lead off the ball game. Too quickly down here in the top of the 3rd inning. And Batten will look to try and extend this inning. Only one guy has reached base. It was on an error so far through 2 2/3 innings for Brendan McCullough. Pitch is over for strike 1. It looked like it was Weston Northrup that was warming up out in the right field bullpen. He has since completed his warm-up tosses. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a swing and a miss, and the count's now 0-2. Well out in front of that was Batten. He was well off balance. And McCullough a strike away from getting out of this top of the 3rd inning. The lefty winds and deals, and that one's fouled off the foot of Batten. We'll do it again here at 0-2. Pierre will play again on Friday at 5 o'clock, and then at 1 o'clock on Saturday against Lincoln. Both those games here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Ground ball to the third baseman, high chopper. O'Brien will field and fires a strike to J.J. Buckles in a 1-2-3 inning for Brendan McCullough here in the top of the 3rd. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, 5-0 lead for Pierre over Sturgis. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Back in a minute. Stolken Peterson LLP has been your local CPA firm for over 40 years, offering tax preparation, bookkeeping, payroll, and consulting services. If your business, farm, or ranch needs professional, accurate, and reliable services, we are your firm. Our clients are our #1 priority. If you need a higher level of accounting service, give us a call at 605-224-5828. That's Stolken Peterson LLP, 222 East Missouri Avenue in Pierre.
Swing for the fences with a great deal from Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre. Whether you need a powerful truck, a fuel-efficient sedan, or a spacious SUV, they've got the perfect lineup to keep you on the road and in the game. Don't strike out. Stop by today or visit CapitalCityFordToyota.com. Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota, where the best deals in town are always in play.
We got a new pitcher on the mound. Bridger Batten is on the mound for Sturgis as he will take over for Brand Matthews. And there won't be, outside of Brand Matthews staying in the lineup, or staying in the field, there won't be any change to the lineup. But Batten will take over. He threw, last time Bridger Batten threw was on Friday in the 3-2 loss to T. He threw just 2/3 of an innings. Got 2 strikeouts in those 2/3 of an inning, and only on 12 pitches that he had to throw. He actually threw again then on Saturday against Douglas, throwing 43 pitches in 2 2/3 innings, giving up 2 hits, 2 runs, only one of them earned, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Sturgis has given up, well, they gave up 1 unearned run in T. All 3 runs they gave up were unearned because they didn't give up a hit against Douglas. Didn't give up any unearned runs against Rapid City Central. Then another 4 unearned runs for Douglas on Saturday, and then on Sunday, and then on Monday against Spearfish, they gave up another 4 unearned runs. So it will be Rich Leinbach to lead things off. And it is Bridger Batten that will be the man on the mound. We'll get you official totals for Brand Matthews. As the first pitch will miss for ball one here to Rich Leinbach. So it is officially 2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 5 runs, only 1 of them earned. No walks and 2 strikeouts. This will be grounded third base side just past the outstretched glove of that is Brand Matthews. Well, that will be actually be Jaron Jeske, the third baseman, staying in the game. And Rich Leinbach's going to base hit to lead things off here in the bottom of the third inning.
The designated hitter, number 27, Cooper Twilliger.
It is now Cooper Twilliger. Twilliger was hit by a pitch, came around to score in the first inning. Governors left a man stranded over at third. First pitch to the top of the zone for strike one. Looks like we may already see another activity out in the left field bullpen. Devin Ross is walking his way out towards the left field side of things. There's a swing and miss by Twilliger, well out in front of that pitch, and the count's 0-2. Maybe some light catch to be played out there. Here's the 0-2. Runner takes off. Twilliger will sky this one out to center field. Out towards the wall. It is going to get out of here for a 2-run shot for Cooper Twilliger on an 0-2 pitch. It is 383 out in left center field, and Twilliger hit it just to the right of that side. And a 2-run bomb for the sophomore in a 7-0 lead. First official home run out of the park for the Govs this season. Wind blowing straight out to center field. Outside of it blowing straight in, I don't think the wind was going to have a factor in it going out or not. As Trevor Rounds will swing and miss at the first pitch for strike one. A big fly for Cooper Twilliger here in the bottom of this third inning. 0-1. That'll miss low and away, and the count's 1-1 here to Rounds. Grounded back to the pitcher. Going 0 for 1 in this first at bat. Only at bat so far, only plate appearance. That one will miss low, and the count's 2-1 here to Rounds. So now a 7-0 lead here in the third inning. And we'll see what the Governors. They did win a 10-0 game against Huron, only having to come to bat in those 4 innings. And right now would be on pace to make that happen and try and get a 10-0 lead. 3-1 pitch, high chopper right in front of the plate. When it went to the shortstop to field, Royer will throw to first, and the lead out and the first out recorded here in the bottom of the third inning. And it brings up Charlie Simpson, who had an RBI triple.
Now batting the catcher, number 21, Charlie Simpson.
To that point, Simpson and Stalley had the only 2 runs driven in until Twilliger's 2-run homer. This will be grounded down the first base line on the first pitch. Simpson was well out in front of it and ends up grounding out to the first baseman. 3 unassisted, and there's now 2 down. And it will bring up Hudson Schaefer, his first at bat for Hudson Schaefer. So Hudson Schaefer will grab the bat. Hit for the first time. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries over the course of the last couple years. Feeling like he's been dealing with a lot of injuries. First pitch will miss low for ball 1. And a good ovation from the dugout as he's starting to come to the plate. What a base hit in your first varsity at bat. There's a ground ball. He was well out in front of that one, grounded foul to the third base dugout. And the count's now even at a ball and a strike. Here's the 1-1. That'll miss low, and the count's now 2-1 here to Schaefer. Let's see if maybe he stays in the first base spot for J.J. Buckles, who he's hitting for. Parker O'Brien is on deck. 2-1. That'll miss slow and away, and the count's 3-1. Here's a good hitter's count for Schaefer to drive one somewhere in his first at bat. Three-1. That'll miss outside. It's a walk to Schaefer. And so a runner on at first with 2 outs.
The third baseman, Parker O'Brien.
And they will run for Schaefer. And so J.J. Buckles, or no, that will not be J.J. Buckles. That'll be Jackson Goodman that will come in and run.
Running for Hudson Schaefer, number 33, Jackson Goodman.
So Goodman over at first. First pitch to O'Brien's over for strike one. O'Brien's 0 for 1. He grounded out to lead off the bottom of the second to his counterpart over at third base, and Jaron Jetski. 0-1 pitch is upstairs, and the count's now 1-1. O'Brien lines that out towards left field. Coming in to make the catch with the left fielder in Thurman, and puts an end to the bottom of the third. But 2-run score on 2 hits of the inning. The big home run by Cooper Twilliger. There are no errors and 1 man left on base. We head to the top of the fourth, a 7-0 lead for Pierre over Sturgis. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Becky Potsaba and State Farm Insurance are here to help you with your insurance and banking needs. State Farm's not just insurance. It's banking, investments, IRAs, loans, and a whole lot more. We offer guidance in a personal and caring way that helps you manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and find ways to control costs so you can realize your dreams. We know how life is, and we're here for you. Stop in to see Becky at 1315 East Wells Avenue in Pierre, or call Becky at 224-4173.
So Jackson Goodman will stay in the game. He will be playing third, but J.J. Buckles is back in the game, as it will be Jaron Jetski, as well as also Jace Thurman and Carter Williams, 2, 3, and 4. All three grounded out, and Brennan McCullough works into the fourth inning with a 7-0 advantage on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard. So Goodman over at third base for O'Brien. That pitch will miss low for ball one. J.J. Buckles is back in the game. Here's the 1-0. This will be skied out towards center field. Wind will take it a little bit of ways, but right to George Staley. And a fly out to lead off the top of the fourth.
Left fielder, number 32, Jace Thurman.
And it brings up Jace Thurman. Thurman grounded out to the second baseman, 4-3 in his first at-bat. Here's the first pitch from McCullough. Ground ball over to Goodman. He will get off the glove. That will most likely be an infield single as he was sliding, trying to make that play. And it'll be the first hit of the ball game for the Sturgis Scoopers here at the top of the fourth.
That hit brings up the center fielder, number 22, Carter Williams.
And now here's Carter Williams, center fielder, who ground out to the shortstop Dawson Getz. Here's the first pitch, and instead of pickoff and no play over at first base. 6 hits for the Govs, only 1 so far for Sturgis. 2 errors for the Scoopers, 1 for the Governors, and a 7-0 advantage for Pierre with 1 out of the top of the fourth. Ground ball gets you out of the inning. First pitch is upstairs for ball one. We'll see if McCullough will stay in the game for the fifth, and probably would depend on how maybe long this inning goes, or maybe the plan is for McCullough to throw the distance that he needs. Runner takes off. The throw to second is a strike. The tag applied. They got him out. Charlie Simpson throws out another guy. That's the 5th one that he's caught stealing this season. And there's now 2 down and nobody on here in the top of the 4th inning. 8th time the Governors have caught someone stealing. Sunshine with 3. And Charlie Simpson now with 5. As the pitch will be grounded over to the second baseman, Shufflebein. He'll wait on it. His throw to first. And it is the minimum faced here in the top of the 4th inning. And it will take us to the bottom of the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and no one left on base. 7-0 lead for Pierre over Sturgis. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
For over 60 years, Ferding Electric has been powering homes and businesses across central South Dakota. When you need reliable electrical service, trust the experts with decades of experience. Whether it's a simple residential repair, a complex commercial installation, or even electrical work on your farm, Ferding Electric has you covered. And if you're tired of searching everywhere for that hard-to-find bulb, Ferding Electric carries a wide selection of bulbs, including those hard-to-find fluorescent and specialty options. Visit us at 2903 East Elizabeth Street or call today, 605-224-8684.
Bottom of the 4th inning. It is a 7-0 lead here for the Governors on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard. And it will be the top of the order for the Governors. Carter Shufflebein, George Stalley, and Dawson Getz. If they can get 3 runs here in this 4th inning, they can find themselves for a chance for a 5-inning win. As Shufflebein digs in, he is 0 for 2. He reached on an air to open up the bottom of the 1st inning, and then he ground out to the first baseman in his 2 at-bats so far. But we are here at the bottom of the 4th, maybe getting a little bit late in this game. If the Govs do put up a 3-spot, at least a 3-spot in this inning, that would force Sturgis to have to score in the top of the 5th inning. Pierre scored 5 runs in the first and another 2 in the 3rd inning to take us to a 7-0 lead. Coming up tonight here on KCCR, it is the Oilers and Vegas Golden Knights, game 1 of that Western Conference semifinal. That'll miss low, and the count's 2-0. Puck drop is probably going to be 8:45, maybe 8:50, somewhere around there. So we'll see if we can get you there by puck drop time as the count's 3-0. Then we'll have NBA coverage tomorrow night, along with Pierre Governor Baseball on Friday night and Saturday afternoon. That's going to be a 4-pitch walk to Shufflebein. Leadoff man is on base to start the bottom of the 4th inning. And it brings up George Stalley, who is 2 for 2, 2 singles and an RBI. He drove in Shufflebein back in the 1st inning. He was the only base hit and the only base runner in the 2nd. Got stranded over at 3rd base. Here's the first pitch to Stalley. Runner takes off. Call a strike. Throw to second is going to be high. And Shufflebein will steal his second base here in game number 1 of our doubleheader. And now Stalley's got a chance for an RBI. Here's the 0. Taken for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2 here to Stalley. Base hit could make this an 8-0 lead here for the Governors. 0-2 pitch from Batten. There's a line shot, and that is going to be scooped by the second baseman. Throw to first is going to get away from the first baseman as the throw quickly came over to the first base side. It'll be a throwing error by the second baseman. Actually, going to be an error on the first baseman and Hamer, who should have really had that one. And it's going to be now second and third with nobody out. And it will bring up Dawson Getz. And Shufflebine probably standing over at third, maybe should have probably scored on that play. But that will be the end of the line for Batten, and we will return here in a minute. We'll give you the new pitcher, and we'll also bring in the color commentator. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Back in a minute.
Venture Communications has deep roots in rural South Dakota. Venture now proudly provides fiber to the home with 100% of our customers, enabling them to enjoy super fast and reliable internet connections. We'd like the opportunity to keep you in touch with the people and resources that matter most. 100% fiber and 100% committed to rural South Dakota. Call Venture Communications today at 605-852-2224, 605-852-2224, or online at venturecom.net.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
It is the bottom of the fourth. Nobody out. Second and third. And it is going to be 3, 4, and 5 now for Devin Ross to face for the Sturgis Scoopers as we welcome in Blake Dean to the broadcast. And Blake, so far in this game, the Govs right now, the 7-0 lead, are sitting in a spot here where, you know, they're 2 big hits away from trying to take a 10-0 advantage here in the fourth inning and have a chance for maybe a shortened game.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very comfortably in the driver's seat right now, are the Govs, thanks to some big-time hitting from guys like Cooper Terwilliger and George Stalley here in Game 1. And if they are able to put up 10 runs on the board here in the fourth, they have the opportunity, as long as they shut down Sturgis in the top of the fifth, to end this thing early.
Devin Ross, who is coming into pitch, he did not throw in any of the 5 games from this past weekend and into Monday. So this will be his first chance to throw. And the man at second and third are still responsible for Bridger Batten, who went an inning, giving up 2 hits, 2 walks, no strikeouts. He could be on the hook for 4 runs given up, as the first pitch will hit Dawson Getz, and it will load the bases. And now the Govs maybe just one big hit away from making this a 10-run lead here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
Now batting number 13, Ridge Leinbach.
And now you got Ridge Leinbach coming up to the plate. Slash line on the year of 241, 268, 241. So, you know, but that one's going to add to it.
That is going to be a long fly ball to left field. It is going to hit the base of the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Dawson Getz will be holding up at third. It's a 2-run double for Ridge Leinbach, who missed a grand slam by another foot. And it is now a 9-0 lead here for the Governors.
Yeah, that'll up the slugging percentage right there if you bang a double off the wall off the Guadalajara sign and left field over the left fielder's head, played a couple of runs. Couple of RBI, that would be RBI number 8 and 9 on the season for Leinbach on that 2 RBI double.
Here's Cooper Twilger, who hit a home run in his last at-bat. That was the first extra base hit of the season for Ridge Leinbach. And that's saying something for a guy that was tied on the team lead in hits going into the game. And now he's got 2 more hits in this game, but his first extra base hit as the counts 1-1 here to Terwilliger, who hit his home run out past center field near that 383 sign and a little bit to the right of that, out in more left center, as the counts 2-1 here to Terwilliger.
Yeah, to your point, John, going back to Leinbach, 13 hits coming into this game, all singles. So good to see him swing the bat a little bit longer and get an extra base hit on that play.
That ball will get through the infield to pass the shortstop. Rounding third will be Leinbach after the center fielder bobbled it a couple of times. 2 runs will come in to score to make it an 11-0 lead here for the Governors. Still with nobody out, as Terwilliger at least gets an RBI single. Might be a little bit tougher to maybe get the second RBI, but I think Leinbach may have scored regardless. And there is now an 11-0 advantage here for the Govs. 4 guys have come to the plate, 5 guys have come to the plate, but the first 4 guys have scored. We can maybe give Terwilliger the 2 RBIs, make it 4 runs driven in here in the first game. First pitch is over for strike one, and Trevor Round 2 is 0 for 2.
I was going to say we could start talking about RSBI instead of RBIs.
Already going to start that conversation.
Well, yeah, we just had 2 back-to-back. We may as well.
Here is the 0-1 pitch. That is outside. The count's now 1-1. I mean, grammatically, yes, it's the runs batted in.
Correct.
It's runs batted in, not run batted ins.
Correct.
For RBIs. But it doesn't make any sense. Here's a ground ball to the shortstop who will underhand flip to second for 1, and that's all they're going to have. They won't even attempt to throw Rounds out at first. And it is 6-4 on the fielder's choice. And there's 1 down, and it brings up Charlie Simpson. I won't say it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't feel right.
I think it makes perfect sense if you think about it logically.
But to say RSBI, it just feels weird. It will be Porter Hunsley that will hit for Charlie Simpson.
You just got to say it multiple times. RSBI. Then it rolls off the tongue a lot easier.
Do you think if we say it enough that Major League Baseball would adopt it?
Probably not.
Yeah, I was going to say. So then we just look like the weird guys.
Or the correct guys.
We're the grammatically correct. Our English,
That's right.
English teachers will love us.
That's right. Shout out Mrs. Vogt.
First pitch will miss inside for ball 1 to Porter Hunsley, who is coming in hitting .250 so far, 3 of 12, 3 runs driven in. Is hitting .400 with runners in scoring position. I mentioned that Lineback had the best hitting percentage. This will be popped up. That one's going to drop. Rounds is going to have to make his way to second quickly. The throw will go to second. It's not going to be in time. It'll be a base hit here for Hunsley after it just got over the head of the first baseman in Hamer. And it's now first and second with 1 away. And it will be now instead Jaron Deal to hit for J.J. Buckles. So Hudson Schaefer hit in Buckles' spot in the third and drew a walk. And now Deal will hit here in the fourth. And the Govs are starting to empty the bench here a little bit.
Nice job of hitting there by Porter Hunsley. Got jammed a little bit. So we're going to have time called as Sturgis had as a pitcher warming up in left field. Ball got away from the shagger. Will call the catcher because he doesn't have any equipment on, but stops play. But like I said, Porter kind of got jammed on that last one, but he still had enough muscle on it to bloop it over the first baseman's head, and Rounds quickly, alertly goes to second. He actually tagged up at first on the play and then was able to move to second as the count is 1-0 here to Deal.
Simpson finished that the day hitting 1 for 2. I guess he doesn't necessarily finish the day quite yet. The Govs still have to get the 3 outs in the top of the 5th inning. His spot could come back up if they don't, get through the top of the 5th. But he is 1 for 2 with that RBI triple. That pitch will be upstairs, and the count's now 3-0 here to Jaron Deal, who is 1 for 2 so far. Was a single. He has scored 3 times. Does have 2 stolen bases for Jaron Deal. 3-0 pitch, taken all the way over for a strike. The count's now 3-1. And a chance for some of these young guys to get a few more at-bats in the final week of the regular season. And of course, we'll see if Brendan McCullough comes out in the top of the 5th inning, or with nobody warming up right now, you would assume that McCullough will try and just go the distance. And as long as he stays under 80 pitches, which he is well under that mark right now, there's a swing and a miss, and the count's 3-2. But if he stays under that mark, he'd be available at least on Saturday. And depending on how many pitches he's thrown by the end of this game, he still could be available on Friday already. So not a bad start to the 6 games here to close out the week. This will be popped up on the infield. It'll be caught by the first baseman.
Actually, the pitcher caught that one.
Excuse me, yeah, the pitcher and Devin Ross will make the catch, and there's now 2 down. Would have been an infield fly if it had landed fair, but Ross had to make the catch, otherwise it would have just been a foul ball. And now Parker O'Brien. Or is it Jackson Goodman that should be hitting for O'Brien? Or it looks like, well, the coaches, Coach Rowie and Coach O'Brien are talking right now. And they will keep O'Brien, who is back in the game Jackson Goodman was playing third in place of O'Brien in the 4th inning, but he was running in the spot for Hudson Schaefer. But either way, O'Brien's, who's 0 for 2, has got a chance to get a base hit. Runners at first and second and 2 away. That one's over for strike 1. In the top of the 5th, it'll be 5, 6, and 7 for Sturgis. George Hamer, Brody Royer, and Ethan Cermak. Here's the 0-1. That will miss outside. The count's 1-1.
Yeah, O'Brien slashing 175, 327, 175. 7 hits, all singles for the primary third baseman for the Govs.
This will be shot out towards left field. O'Brien, that'll be over the head of the left fielder, and another run will come in to score. They're going to wave in a second run. The throw will be from the shortstop. It will come to the plate. Now over to third. O'Brien will dive in, and he is going to be out at third base. Both runs will come in to score. And it's going to be a 2 RBI double for Parker O'Brien. And he is thrown out at third base to close out the inning. But a 13-0 lead for the Governors heading to the top of the 5th, who can end this early in game number 1. Back in a minute, you're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR and watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Yag Incorporated is your locally owned ag chemical and seed retailer. Yag Incorporated offers reliable ground and aerial application. For the latest seed and chemical pricing, contact Kyle at 605-280-8710 or Tony at 605-280-4771. Yag for all your ag chemical and seed needs. Kyle 605-280-8710 or Tony 605-280-4771.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Brendan McCullough will try and close this one out. And it is a 13-0 lead for the Pierre Governors over the Sturgis Scoopers. John Wickler alongside Blake Dean as you're listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront Broadcasting Station. 5, 6, and 7. George Hamer, Brody Royer, and Ethan Cermak will be the first 3 hitters. Here in the top of the 5th inning, the Govs are just 3 outs away from closing out game number 1. The wind is a little bit of a factor here in the press box.
It's starting to blow in through the open window.
It's a wind tunnel. It's
a little bit,
It's coming from the back of the press box where we come in up the stairs, and it's blowing through. So here's George Hamer, but Blake Dean was able to recover all of his papers that were flying around.
I've got
and his phone.
A lot less stuff to deal with on my end than you do, so.
First pitch will miss low for ball 1.
I'll just clean up for the both of us.
I thought you were going to say you're going to sing karaoke. 1-0 pitch, ground ball over to O'Brien over at third. He will gobble it up. Throw is low, and it will be off the glove of the first baseman, Jaron Deal. And a leadoff error will kick off the inning. Second error of the game for the Governors, and there is 1 on, nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. That brings up Brody Royer.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know how much first base Jaron Deal's played in his young career to this point. Almost had a nice job on a pick on a low throw from O'Brien, but just unable to snag it. And the runner reaches first base here with nobody out in the top of the 5th.
First pitch from Brody Royer will be fouled out of play, and the count's 0-1. No comment on the singing karaoke?
Nope.
Okay. We still got another game to go.
Okay.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. That'll miss low. It is behind the catcher as Charlie Simpson is back in to catch the top of the 5th inning. That'll be low for a ball, and the count's 1-1 here to Royer. Start playing some background music. 1-1 pitch. I'll miss low and inside. The count's now 2-1.
Why?
Well, what's your go-to song?
Go-to karaoke song?
Yeah.
I've got a few.
Okay. We'll figure that out.
All right.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. This will be flown out towards right field. That's going to be a long run for Rounds all the way out towards the wall. One hops off the wall. It'll be a double, and the runner will round third. He will try and score. The throw coming to the plate. Simpson with a nice scoop, and he will tag him out. And the runner is thrown out trying to score to make this a 13-1 game, but instead there is now one down and a runner on at second. A great throw from Shufflebind, from Rounds to Shufflebind, and a strike to Simpson, who scooped it off the ground and had an easy tag to applied.
Yeah, that's exactly why you run relays and cutoffs in practice all the time, and that really paid off there as the ball got to the wall. Rounds was able to corral it against the Pizza Ranch sign out in right center field. He hurled it into Shufflebind. Shufflebind with an absolute seed to Simpson behind the plate, and had the runner by a good 3 to 4 steps for out number 1.
Ethan Cermak will step to the plate. Bridger Babcock takes over at first base. Here with one out in the top of the 5th inning, a 13-0 lead. First pitch is a ground ball to the left side. Dawson Getz will field it from behind the bag. The throw to first will be in time as Babcock keeps his foot on the bag over at first. Runner takes off to third, and there's now 2 down. The Govs are an out away from closing out game number 1.
Yeah, nice job on that play by Getz. It looked like that hop might have had a chance to eat him up, but he stuck with it because it did hit the lip of the grass on the grass part of the infield, but stuck with it and threw over to Babcock, who Babcock has been the primary first baseman this whole inning, I believe, for out number 2.
Yeah. 0-1 count here to Carson Williams, who is 0 for 1. This is number 8 man in the batting order. If they're able to retire Carson Williams and end the game, Jack Jolly will remain on deck and only get 1 at-bat in the 5-inning ball game. 13-0 is their score. 1-1 pitch with 2 outs here at the top of the 5th. This is popped foul. He's got a chance to maybe land right above there and just stay up there. It's not going to come down. I think counts 1-2. I think it's just sitting right there, too.
I was going to say that was about as good of a chance as we're probably going to see the rest of the game.
1-2 pitch. Ground ball, first base sign off the foot of Babcock. Over to Shufflebind. The throw back to first is going to go off of the runner and Carson Williams. And it will allow a run to score. Williams stays over at first base. And it will be an error on Bridger Babcock. And it's now a 13-1 ball game with 2 outs here at the top of the 5th. Still, Sturgis has to score another 3 runs to extend this ball game. And Jack Jolly, the number 9 man, does have a chance to hit for the second time now. First pitch swinging in, fouls that one back for strike 1.
Yeah, really unfortunate there, especially for Brennan McCullough, who has thrown an absolute gem of a ball game, not to end with a shutout, but he's got a chance to end with potentially a 1 or 2 hitter if he's able to get this last guy here.
Yeah, just 2 hits, 1 single in the top of the 4th, and then the double here in the 5th inning. But it is an unearned run to McCullough. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and that will end the ball game. The Govs will take it 13-1 over the Sturgis Scoopers here in game number 1. We'll step aside for 2 minutes, come back to wrap up our first game. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Back in 2 minutes. Beck Motor Company is proud to sponsor the Pierre Governors baseball team this season. Just like the Governors, we believe in hard work, dedication, and striving for excellence every day. As these young athletes give it their all on the field, Beck Motor Company is here to deliver top-quality Chevy and Cadillac vehicles and unbeatable service. We're committed to supporting our community, and there's no better way to show that than backing our hometown team. Visit Beck Motor Company today and find the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle. www.beck-motors.com. 605-224-5912. Go Govs!
Walking together in faith, living together in faith, working together in faith, that's who we are.
Hi, this is Pastor Sam Hanschke. I hope that our athletes have an excellent and successful season. I pray that God would continue to richly bless them. I invite you to join me in praying for our athletes during the year.
We're Faith Lutheran and we are glad you're here.
Did you know it is important for your child to see the dentist at the time their first tooth are up? A healthy smile begins at birth, and there are many variables, from healthy eating habits to good oral hygiene and routine dental care. Hi, I am Dr. Michelle Hofer. At Missouri River Dentistry, we enjoy working with people of all ages. Dentistry is our profession, but people are our focus. I invite families to come experience an office that uses the latest techniques and equipment to be sure you receive that healthy and happy smile. To schedule your appointments for your family, call us at 223-2021. Kids love us, parents trust us.
Wagner Auto Company is your complete transportation headquarters. You'll find a great selection of quality new Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep vehicles, plus a great selection of quality pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles. They'll take good care of you after the sale with a full-service parts and body shop, along with a friendly financing team that'll do their best to get you into your next new or pre-owned vehicle with financing that fits your budget. Wagner Auto is your local, family-owned, full-service dealership in Pierre. WagnerAuto.com. That's WagnerAuto.com.
Well, game one is in the books. It is a 13-1 win for the Pierre Governors over the Sturgis Scoopers. John Winkler alongside Blake Dean as we welcome you back into the broadcast booth as the Govs pick up a 5-inning win over the Scoopers as they do so with 5 runs in the first, a 2-run homer by Cooper Twilliger in the third, and then 6 runs in the fourth inning. Brendan McCullough goes 5 innings, giving up 2 hits, 1 run. It was unearned, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Brand Matthews will pick up the loss with 2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 5 runs, 1 earned run, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. As it goes, you go 13 runs, 10 hits, 3 errors, 2 men left on base. Sturgis with 1 run, 2 hits, 3 errors, and 2 men left on base. Time of the ball game was 1 hour and 18 minutes to take us through game number 1 with a 13-1 victory. And Blake, good business win in game number 1 and got to continue the business-like mentality in game number 2 and take care of it here in the second game and get a doubleheader sweep.
Yeah, absolutely. You look up and down the lineup, there's only 3 guys or 3 spots in the batting order, I guess, that you don't have somebody that would have gotten a hit for the Govs, and that's really, really reassuring. Obviously, Brennan McCullough only throws 48 pitches in his outing through 5 this afternoon and early this evening, which is fantastic. He's going to be able to be eligible to pitch again on Friday against Sioux Falls, Washington, if need be. Really setting the Govs up well with this first game, like you said, kind of that workman-like win here in game number 1. But we'll see if they can bounce back and make it a doubleheader sweep here in game number 2.
You mentioned it, 48 pitches for Brendan McCullough. Very efficient. He had 0 walks, only 1 strikeout, and that was the final pitch of the game was his strikeout. Gave up just those 2 hits, 5 base runners in total that got on base for Brendan McCullough. He has been excellent. I mean, his ERA coming in, and I don't think I even really mentioned it, and I should have, but his ERA coming in was 1.45 and a whip at 1.55, batting average against a 282. He was just as good as he has been all season for this Governor team, and now he picks up win number 2 of the season in that would be his first win of the season in his second start overall in 5 appearances. He's been excellent when he's been on the mound.
Yeah, Brendan McCullough is one of those kids that he's kind of got a funky delivery, comes from the left side. It's kind of a 3/4 arm slot, almost maybe even a true sidearm in the style of like a Chris Sale, except for the fact that his pitching style as opposed to Chris Sale isn't going to be to overpower you. It's going to be to pitch to contact, try to fill up the zone quite a bit as much as possible, and make guys get themselves out. And he has been able to do that all season long through. He only had thrown 9 2/3 innings coming into this outing today, obviously upping that to 14 2/3 through 5 here this evening in tonight's first game. But very workmanlike and kind of exactly what he's done all year, pound the zone, make guys get themselves out, and that was exactly what happened to the Sturgis Scoopers here in game number 1.
Well, Cooper Twilliger finished with 4 RBIs. He goes 2 for 2 in the game, 2-run homer in the third, a 2 RBI single in the fourth. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning. George Staley had 2 hits with an RBI. Charlie Simpson had an RBI triple in there. An RBI, 2 RBI double for Parker O'Brien. And the Govs take care of business 13-1 in the game number 1. So we here on KCCR will send things back to the station here in just a moment. We'll hear from News Director Zach Nelson, his 5 o'clock news in the 6 o'clock hour. Close to having it still in the 5 o'clock hour. But we will have, we'll end the broadcast here on YouTube at KCCR Sports. We'll come back with our second game here shortly, looking at maybe around 6:40 or so when we get things underway for our second game of the day between the Pierre Governors and the Sturgis Scoopers. So we'll send it back to the station. You are listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. Back to the station here in 3 minutes. We'll hear from News Director Zach Nelson. Governors take game number 1 here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.